Good afternoon, YouTube. Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night stream. Of course, last Sunday I was not on here because I was at Lake Icaria, and even with my hotspot, internet service can be iffy at best. There is Pete. Thanks for dropping in. So as you can see, I have the Minotaur Trading Company Lamb Stew 2021. Inspection date 2031. Minotaur Trading Company stopped putting menu numbers on these because they're always changing it up, so they just decided to go with the title, the entree that's featured, and it's just plain easier for them. And instead of the coffee that I will be pouring, that comes with this ration, I'm actually going to be doing one of these pour-overs that was sent to me by the Booger Butt and Booger Butt. So I have two of these. They're the same coffee, so I'm going to go ahead and do one of these, and I will use the sweetened condensed milk in it, and that will go into the 4NMRE mug. So just thought I'd go ahead and show that. I have a pot of water on the stove, working its way up to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and open up the box. I'll move it off camera so I don't hit my phone mount. I'll just move it off to the side. And I also get one of my long teaspoons because, see, the spoon in the accessory pack is even shorter than my 4NMRE spork, so that will help for mixing the entree. But since I have the accessory pack out, I'll just go ahead and put it there. This is a French vanilla cappuccino mix. So I will save this for another day since I'm doing the pour-over coffee. Here is a tropical punch drink mix. This is the all-day snack, salted peanuts. See how big that bag is. And something that I've seen so many others rave about since they got them. These Skyflakes crackers. Let's see, you have Mike in the house. Carla in the house. Yossi is in the house. And he gets a long-distance commute award coming all the way from Israel. So here is the lamb stew. The only other lamb stew I've had in a ration was from a Canadian IMP. And that was really good. And here is the vanilla shake. I have not had the vanilla shake. And this one makes a whole half liter of drink. So I will have to get my drinking jar, or my Minotaur mug. And then the last thing out of the box is this cornbread stuffing. So I'm going to get the box out of the way. What I've seen of these Skyflakes crackers, they originate from the Philippines, so I guess it's a very popular brand. And Jack of Trades, or no, not Jack of Trades, but Average Joe got a whole variety pack of these of different flavors of these crackers. So you have to check out Average Joe to see what all flavors came in that variety pack that he has. So there's Rachel Sunshine Side of Life 77 in the house. The Tropical Punch will go in my drinking jar. Now the tear notch is on this particular brand of the pour over coffee is here on the side. Of course, it didn't rip all the way across it. Oh boy, that coffee smells good. So this is what the bag looks like when you take it out of the wrapper. Then you pull these sides out like this. And you carefully tear off this top. It'll also make it easier to pull the sides out. I can see the coffee in there. Angry Blacksmith is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Now the cornbread stuffing only calls for a couple ounces of water or a half cup. Give or take a milliliter or 3. Now these bags have a gusseted bottom. And that one didn't rip all the way, but that's okay. That smells very, very flavorful. Lots of herbs and seasonings in there. I'm going to go ahead and rip off the top of the lamb stew. And these also have a gusseted bottom. That one ripped a whole lot better. I have a bag off to the side that I will be putting the trash in. There is a look at the lamb stew in its dry form. Good sized pieces of the lamb and the vegetables. And the seasonings are all up and down the sides of the bag. This one, you let it stand for 8 minutes. And this one says let it stand for 12 to 15. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go into the kitchen. I'm going to grab my Minotaur mug so I can put the shake in. And I will bring back the kettle to put water in all of these. And then I'll do this one first. And then I'll do the cornbread so I can get them in order. Oh, I forgot to open up the accessory kit, so guess I'll go ahead and do that. So I got the American Smarties. In some places look similar, but they call them rockets, I believe. Someone can correct me on that. Got the small spoon, which I will not be using. The Taster's Choice is being replaced by the pour over coffee. And got a wet wipe, salt and pepper, sugar, and non-dairy creamer. I'm just picking up a few bits of trash to get them out of the way. And after I put the water into the bags here, I'll go ahead and put them inside of this Mylar Flectix bag, but it's basically Mylar bag with bubble wrap. And then I have this clip that will go over the side. The Carlos Perry in the house, thanks for dropping in. So I'll get the kettle and my Minotaur mug, and I'll be right back. I'm going to pour the water in away from the camera so I don't give you all a steam bath. Ah, crap. I just dropped the bag. Ah, bugger. I will clean this up and we will go back at it. So give me a moment to do that. Now I'll do that off camera, so it's just easier. That's live video, so that's what happens. So I got that in there. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shake. Now into this bag it goes. Oops, sorry about that. Put the clip on. And I'll just finish wiping up the tray. Oh, that'll be good enough. Now I'm going to do the coffee next. As you pour the water in, you should be able to see it start to go down into the cup. So this takes a little bit of time so you don't overflow it. Puppy breath in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I had a little bit of a mishap with the lamb stew, but I recovered it. Now I'm doing the pour over coffee that Booger Butt sent me. And you pour this a little bit at a time. Then last week I was not here. I was at camp at Lake Icaria. I got skunked with the fishing, but I tried. So with these pour over coffees, just like any other single serve coffee, or at least a lot of them, you can probably make it as strong or light as you want. So that's why I'm not paying attention to the chat fully. I'm going to leave that much. See, it starts, there's dub C in the house. It's taking more time to go down because there's already water in the mug. So I'm going to stop it there. And I'm going to let that sit for a moment. Now I'm going to just put a little bit of water into the cornbread. This is a cornbread stuffing. See it in there. I just gave it a good shake. And I'm going to put this into this bag along with the lamb stew. So I have both of those in here. And now I can give them more of a shake without burning my paws. I'm squeezing the coffee bag just to make sure that I get all that goodness out. Into the trash it goes. And goes the sweetened condensed milk. I can give this a mix. Now I will put that back here. I'm just going to take the kettle back into the kitchen. I'll be right back. Just wanted to get it out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and mix the tropical punch. Now these pouches are obviously too small to mix in. There we go, that's about 12 ounces. You can give or take a milliliter or 3. I can put up to 13 ounces in this drinking jar. Wow, that sounds like some good news, Carla, that you're gonna get that taken care of. So there is a tropical punch done. This bag is a good mixing size bag because it's a lot taller. This definitely smells like vanilla. I'm going to go to my other bottle. I guess this one only requires 8 ounces of water, but instead of the full half liter, so I'll exchange this for a different glass and I'll be right back. There we go. Little bit of stuff down the bottom. So I shorted the water on purpose because you get that little bit of stuff down the bottom. Now I can take my long spoon and just kind of stir that up. This one didn't mix all that well, but oh well, heck with it. I'm going to give it a stir. There's Booger Butt and Booger Butt in the house. I watched several of your videos, that you did last week. That you shot a couple of them while I was away on my trip. Okay, the shake is done, and that's what it looks like. Get my spork back over here. So I suppose a shake would count as a dessert for this one since there's no other real dessert. But I'm going to go ahead and open the peanuts. That is, and I can slide my tray back over so everything is in view. I'm going to go ahead and open these Skyflakes crackers. And from what I've seen, they're like a saltine, but just a little bit different. But ever since Bob had got a hold of these, and I don't know if someone recommended these to him, or he just found them and decided to give them a try. but they have been going in all of the Arctic field rations. There's 3. And they came out intact. But you can break them up. They got a score line right here where you can break it up. Slightly missed it, but see if I can give you a, don't know how well that will, almost had it focused on there. So that is everything opened up, just waiting on the hot stuff to get hot. There is Food Farmers Permaculture, otherwise known as Howie. So thanks for dropping in. He is in Canada. So as the name implies, he literally has a food forest where, in addition to other trees that you would find in a typical mixed forest, there are fruits and maybe some vegetables. He might have nuts. Not sure if he can grow nuts up where he's at. He could tell you that, you know. But if you check his channel, you can see all of the videos that he's done. So definitely go check out his channel, and you'll really be impressed by the setup that he has up there. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this cracker a try, since this is my first time having these Skyflakes crackers. These are definitely the saltine, and according to Average Joe's video, these are the original. These taste like the saltines that we are familiar with here, but they're a little thinner. But this is what an MRE cracker should taste like. And this has flavor. And you can do all kinds of things with it. And it's not so delicate like a crisp bread that just falls apart on you. I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of this coffee. It's Colombian coffee. It's cooled off a whole lot since I've done it, but it's really good coffee. Of course, I like my coffee blonde and sweet, but it just tastes like a fresh brewed coffee because it is. It's not an instant coffee, it's just your regular coffee grounds in that little filter bag. You pour the water through, and then I just let it sit for a few minutes. I'm going to go for some of these peanuts. Right amount of salt, roasted just right. And these are, if you had this ration out, say, on a hike, of course, you might dispense with a box and just bag it like Shocker did in his most recent video where he vacuum sealed all the components and stuck that in his pack so that he wouldn't have to carry around the box, which would take up space as well as weight in his pack. But these all-day snacks are basically like a pocket snack. You stick it in your pocket, or if you use a chest rig to put some things in so you have them handy, easy grab, you can just munch on those while you're walking on the trail. I'm going to take a taste of this vanilla shake. Since I have not had the actual vanilla dairy shake from a USMRE, I really don't know what that one is like compared to this one, but I would like to get one of those and then do an actual comparison. I have another Arctic Field ration that was the mystery ration for the golden ticket. There is another vanilla shake in there. What I might do is save that, wait till I get another vanilla shake from a USMRE or a First Strike ration or something like that, and then do a direct comparison of those two. So I am going to check on these. I'm going to open up the cornbread stuffing first. So I think I'm going to put a light in there, just so I can get a better idea of what it looks like. I think this one is ready to come out, so I am going to put it up here. See the lamb stew. Put a light in there. I'm going to give this just a little bit more time just to keep it hot. So I'm going to throw it back in this bag. Just spreading the stuffing out just a little bit so you can give you a better look at that. That cornbread stuffing is really good. It's seasoned just right. And it did not come out dry at all. I put the right, I guessed on the water because I don't measure. But that stuffing is really good. So if you can get a hold of, even if you get that cornbread stuffing as a standalone item in an order from MinotaurTradingCompany.com, I think you'll like it. Put some of it on this cracker. Well, that really works too. Rachel, you're about as scary as a ping pong ball in a closet. See, look what Yossi put up. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour this out. And the long spoon will take care of any straggler bits. Now the liquid is running into the cornbread, but that's okay because that might actually taste good. Yeah, there's red and green bell pepper. There's carrots. Different vegetables in here. There is a piece of the lamb. Oh, wow. It's tender. It's not tough, but fully rehydrated. I think even this big piece did. Now there's onion. There's garlic and herbs. All kinds of seasonings in here. I love lamb. And as much as I enjoyed that Canadian IMP lamb stew, sorry, Baxters, but this has you beat. There's a bit of sweetness in the carrots, so that sort of counters, or maybe I would say complements, the savoriness of everything else in here. This is the lamb stew with the cornbread stuffing. Now that is a good combination. I think I know what Dubsy would call this. Not surprised at that, Pete. We still got that going on occasionally here. Not as bad as it was last month. I'm going to take a drink of the tropical punch. Even though this has artificial color and flavor in it, this one tastes better than the mil-spec tropical punch or the other fruit punch. That I've never had, Carla. You know, here in Iowa, we don't see bears around this part of the state. Although they are moving into northeast Iowa. So other than that, the only time you would see bears is in the zoo. But, you know, a bear is such a big animal that when you cook the meat of something like that, it goes through a bit of a process. In order to get that to taste right and to feel right as far as texture goes. But maybe one day. I've never tried moose meat. I've had elk. I know what that's like. That's really good. And a lot of people know I love deer meat. Yeah, I listened to that. That was that was a pretty unique experience. I'm just going up to the chat. In fact, we sampled, after we got back from the trip Friday, we sampled some, or at least only a few of us did, some deer sticks with jalapeno made by a meat locker that my mom has and my sisters have gotten meat from before. And that was really good, but my mom liked it, but it was just too spicy for her, so I ended up with it. There's Robert in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I have the Minotaur Trading Company lamb stew, Arctic field ration with cornbread stuffing. But instead of this French vanilla cappuccino, I did a pour over coffee that Booger Butt and Booger Butt had sent me. with a packet of sweetened condensed milk. And that is really good. These are the Skyflakes crackers. I'll hold up a whole one. So they are a true saltine cracker. They're a little bit thinner, but they're not so delicate like a crisp bread that they would just fall apart if you tried to put something on it. And I'll do this again. I got the stuffing and the lamb stew on it. They are putting, Minotaur's putting these in all of their Arctic field rations now. Then it came with a vanilla shake, which is really good. And then I got, this is a tropical punch here in my drinking jar. And these are salted peanuts. Well, that's going to be a bit of a trip for someone who has to go to your place, Robert. Let's see. Going on in the chat. Oh, my second oldest sister brought her flat top griddle, but it crapped out. She was using it at home, but at camp she just couldn't get it to go. So she is definitely going to invest in a Blackstone. I entered a giveaway on Facebook to try to win one for her. But whether I get it, I don't know. I can always try. I think I'm going to do one more thing. Well, I still have a little bit of the stuffing left. Now I think Dub C might have a word for this. So I got a little bit of stuffing. There's dark matter in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I have lamb stew and a little bit of cornbread stuffing, and that's about it for that. This is one of the Arctic field rations, freeze-dried on Minotaur Trading Company. And then cornbread stuffing, I also added water to. And these crackers are called Sky Flakes. They're a little bit thinner than the standard saltine that you can get here, but they taste just like it. But they're not so delicate and breakable that you can't put anything on it. I mean, you saw me put that lamb stew, bit of the cornbread stuffing, and peanuts on there. There's James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But this lamb stew is really, really good. No need to add anything to it. There's a bit of sweetness from the carrots, but it just works. And the coffee is the pour-over coffee that I did instead of the coffee that came in the ration. I added a packet of sweetened condensed milk to it. That's Colombian coffee. It's your regular grind that you put in a coffee maker, but it's in a filter bag that you open up, you set it into the cup, and you gradually pour water through it and let it sit for a bit. And then I have a vanilla shake. I want to do a direct comparison between the Minotaur vanilla shake and a vanilla dairy shake, or maybe a vanilla protein shake. Actually, if I had all three, I think that would be even better. But these crackers they're just plain good on their own. If I had a bunch of these, these are, you could just snack on these, maybe put a little jelly on it or butter, and you'd be good to go. Or just put some of this on there. Got the tropical punch here, which is better than the ones that you get in a regular USMRE. Oop. Haven't done a movie thing. Last week I was camping. That's a lot more fun. I got skunked at fishing, but I tried. I probably could have put this in a bowl, but I want to go ahead and just let any of the liquid run onto the tray and let it spill over into my cornbread stuffing. Oh, I missed the super chat. I don't know if I can. Oh, there we go. Sleepy Dog Construction dropped that $10 super chat. By the way, you should check out the Sleepy Dog Construction videos, even if you're not into that sort of thing yourself. I actually enjoy watching things like that. And it's just something different to see all those processes that construction workers do, especially with large scale projects that cover a larger area. I just enjoy watching those videos. But man, this lamb stew from Minotaur, you gotta get it. This beats the Canadian IMP lamb stew by far. And I really enjoyed that one. That was the best IMP out of the few that I've had that didn't have entrees rated. But it's tender, it fully rehydrated. I don't know if that would work. I think more of a front end loader. I think that might be more beneficial. Thanks for dropping in, Carla. Hope to see you again. I'm just munching on a few more of these peanuts. Well, you know how much a front end loader can hold compared to the little scoop on a backhoe. But the only thing with that, Pete, is you can only put relatively small items on that. Yeah, well, even then, you can only put so much on one of those before it just becomes too difficult to operate. Sorry, I just have to polish off this lamb stew. This is just too good. Also, speaking of Minotaur orders, I did not get the one that I placed for last month because UPS messed up. Usually they're a lot better than FedEx. But somehow my box got redirected to an access point that is so far away I can't get to it by bus. And so it was supposedly supposed to be brought over here to me, but I'm afraid it's already on its way back to Kentucky. Yeah, I would contact the UPS and have them file a trace. And plus, the driver was supposed to. I have a standing order or a driver instruction that because I live in a secure building, the driver is supposed to call or text me when they come. And plus, I never got a notification that it was on its way. You know, UPS and Amazon both have these little map things that you can follow when the delivery driver is in your area. But I never got that, so I could not follow it and see where it was to know where it is. And I'm assuming that, this is before I left on the trip that I never got it. I was supposed to have it earlier last month, but UPS messed that one up. So I alerted Bob that it may be coming back, and I filed a claim with UPS to have them investigate it to find out what the heck happened to it. Did someone steal it from that access point? Did someone on the inside steal it? So tomorrow morning, I am going to make a phone call to see what's up, to see if they got anything, because I told them that I'm going to be out of town. I won't be able to get any phone calls because service out there is spotty at best, and that's just for data. I maybe got off one text, and that was it, and I had to go down by the lake to do it. Oh, that was mean. Of course, I have my issues with FedEx because they do not like to follow instructions. They like to, I was even told that even if we had an access code that a visitor could use, they are not allowed to use those access codes, let alone call the intended recipient to let them know that they're there. You know, if you don't have a key, that's the only way to get access to the building is to call or text or email or some way contact the intended recipient or person you want to see. The cold boxes that we do have are dead. They've been dead since I've been here. So the last package that I had coming by FedEx, since I knew I was going to be out of town when it came, I had it directed to a FedEx office, which is not too far from here. Their site suggested that I have it sent to what will be the FedEx version of the UPS access point, which would have been a CVS pharmacy clear on the other side of town, when the FedEx office is so much closer. Well, there you go. Although sometimes even Kentucky can have some bad winters, just like Texas did this past winter. Yep, all I have left are peanuts and these awesome crackers. I might have to look for these online. Someone had sent Average Joe a variety pack of these Skyflakes crackers. Each pack has a different flavor. So you have to check out a few videos back on his channel to see what flavors he has. But the one in the red and blue pack, the original flavor, that's what goes into the Minotaur Arctic field rations now. But these are awesome. But this coffee is really good. I have one more of these pour-overs, but I'm going to save that for a future camping trip. Yep, just as I thought, so I might have to do that. I think what I might do I might change all of my deliveries to an access point. That way I can go get it when it's convenient for me, and I don't have to worry about drivers screwing it up and either delivering to the wrong address, which happened to that gooey butter cake I bought for my birthday in January, and it somehow got put in a vacant apartment, and that was being remodeled, and a maintenance man went in there to do something, and he saw my package in there and brought it to me. Kind of going back and forth between my drinks. Oh, we sure had a good time at the lake, even though my nephews each caught a fish. Keeper size, but because we are not keeping them except in picture form, we still had a good time. And that video that I put up for some reason took a coon's age to upload, and it's not a long video, so I don't know why. Uploading it from my phone took over a day. And usually a video of that length does not take all that long, maybe about 20 minutes tops. I didn't change the settings on my phone, so I don't know if it was, I mean, it's the beginning of the month, so Mediacom shouldn't be throttling me. I mean, according to their system, I'm paid up on my account, so but at least it's up. So and then I put up another one shot on my other smartphone. I put that one up on Facebook. I had not deleted that one yet, so if the one that I had shot on the phone that I'm streaming on now, if that one was a fail, I had that other video as a backup. Yeah, Carla came back. I thought you were gone for the night. Nope. No beer, booze. I don't bother with that anyway. As long as I got this or some tea, I'm happy. Or maybe a Pepsi. I still do drink a Pepsi once in a while. We did do root beer floats at camp. And we did s'mores, you know, you gotta do that when you're camping. Especially if you have kids. And we cooked steaks on the fire, we cooked ribs and chicken on the fire, we cooked hot dogs on the fire. And we didn't get a whole lot of rain. One of my nephews rented a pontoon boat for an hour, so a few of us took rides on that. And my other nephew and his girlfriend rented kayaks for about an hour. She kayaked, she's done it before, but he hadn't, so she kind of showed him how to do it, and now he wants to do it some more, so maybe next year he'll actually own a kayak. Oh, speaking of work gloves, I just have those light duty mechanics type gloves. I don't own some real hardcore work gloves. I've never done a job where I would needed those. When I and a group cleared up overgrowth from a vacant lot, I just had a pair of gardening gloves that I bought specifically for that task, and they worked, but they're very thin. So eventually I will invest in some proper work gloves that I can wear, so when I do get an axe or a hatchet, which is something I still don't own. I mean, when you live in an apartment, you really don't think you would have a use for one, but I still want one. Tack and Brenda from AOK Foraging and Adventures have fishing kayaks. And they have mounts on the sides for not only the paddle, but for the fishing rod. And they have the storage holes both in front of the seat and behind the seat that you can stow your gear. So they can go fishing with those, and they have a kayak cooler that they can tie to the back end of one of the kayaks and then pull it, so they can either keep their catch alive, or they can tow their lunch and drinks behind them if they want to pull off to a spot for lunch or whatever. So those are really cool. Well, speaking of microwaves, the cabins that we rent, they do have microwaves in them. But that and the fridge are the only appliances that are supplied. You have to bring your own coffee pot in if you want that, or any other small appliances. We brought a toaster. We had a hot pot for just boiling water. Say if one of my group wanted tea or cocoa mix, we could do that. Or when we did the cooler cooking of the corn, and believe me, that does work. What you do is you take a hard side cooler, like an Igloo, Playmate, or something like that. Enough room to put several full ears of corn. You fill that full of boiling water, and then you just close it and let it sit for a certain amount of time. And that will literally cook the corn inside that cooler, thus freeing up your stove for other things, because the camp stove, you really can't do a full boil of several ears of corn at once, because the big pots needed really don't fit on the Coleman stove. You could probably do it on a fire, but we didn't have a pot big enough, so we did the cooler method, and it does work. Oh, there you go. Cats rule. And they do. Let's see. So it looks like someone is leaving. So good night to anyone who is leaving. I'm still munching on my peanuts and I got one piece of cracker left. Oh, that's a crapper. Well, it's a real shame when it's so young, just didn't make it. Well, he tried to give the little sprout a chance. But that's a good thing you found it before they did. You know, if they're young, that could have really freaked them out. Not to be a downer, but when I was a younger kid, we had a power outage in the house that we lived in, and we were gone for a while. We came back, and we had a dog, and it was literally frozen solid. We could not take him with us. But I guess it was just too cold, and he was down in the basement, and he literally froze solid. Yep. I hope you can keep your other cats for a lot longer. In fact, Mila is 2 months shy of 18 years old. And I've had her for all but 5 weeks of that time. Yep, you gotta, if they're an animal that can be trained, you gotta train them right. You gotta have discipline with them. Only time I have ever given Mila anything that I would eat was occasionally I gave her a part of a can of tuna. And I drained off the water first. But never a whole can. Even those little tiny tuna cans that are about the size of Fancy Feast cat food can. If I opened up one of those, and I do have some that are that size, I would only give her maybe half of it at one time. That way, you know, if she doesn't make it to the litter box before she unloads, well, I'll just leave it at that. Oh, wow. That's still a good life. 16 years. And I'm pretty sure when Mila does decide to check out, I'll probably be a hot mess. She has lived the longest of any pets that I've had. The other pets that I've personally owned, that only I was responsible for as an adult, were some different birds. The first was a parakeet. He lived about 5.5 years till he got a growth on his leg that I just couldn't get taken care of. And I also had a European linnet that I got at a bird show, but he did not live very long. I had a canary that probably lived about a year longer than the linnet. So maybe about 2 years. And of course my zebra finches, I got females. I didn't want to get the males, but those zebra finches didn't like each other. And then I had a lovebird that I rescued out of a bad situation. And she was with me for about 10 years. Well, I suppose, speaking of roast, I briefly got interrupted. Sorry about that. But speaking of roast, I suppose the lamb that I ate was nicely roasted before it was freeze-dried. Yep. I had a couple pets as a child, but I had help taking care of them. I shared them with other family members. And of course we pet sat some other animals that friends had while they had to go away for a while. We took care of a black and white rabbit that was really awesome. He stayed with us for almost 3 weeks. Then he went back to his people. I have personally not done that. I don't own a big grill, so I couldn't do a full-size pizza. If I had one of those little frozen pizzas that are probably about that big around, I could do it on my twig stove. Or I could put a skillet on, I would have to hold the skillet on my little pocket stove. I could do it on that. But the twig stove would be a lot more stable to do it on, because it's about that wide at the top. Well, I think since more people are leaving, I'm probably going to go ahead and call this good myself since I ate all the food. I just have my drinks left. Yeah. You're late, but you can always catch it on the replay after YouTube gets done processing it. And that usually takes them several hours. Hopefully not as long as it took them to upload my memorial bench video. But I had a lamb stew with cornbread stuffing. And I had a coffee, a pour-over coffee sent by Booger Butt and Booger Butt in their box of stuff that they sent me a while back instead of the coffee that's in here in the ration. So I will save that for another day. And for those just coming in, Yossi gets the award for the longest cyber commute because it is probably well past midnight in Israel. I don't know what time it is there. I don't know the time difference, but I'm sure he's probably wanting to go to bed. Unless he's a night owl. Oh, wow. Yeah, I said well past midnight, so. I do want to thank you all for coming in. And next week, I have that last of the golden ticket mystery rations that I got. I will open that up, and hopefully by then, after that, if I don't have anything else, I do have all of my miscellaneous stuff. I can put together some meals. I can do some ration mashups. So after next Sunday, if I don't have anything else that has come in, I will start doing some ration mashups because I've been wanting to do that this year. So I got a good variety of stuff. Yep. I think I'm the only one who has done it multiple times. You know, Old Smokey's done it a few times where he would take an element from a British ORP, combine it with something from a US ration, something from a Canadian ration, you know, something, you know, just mix things up. So I will start doing that in a couple of weeks if I don't get some things that I've been wanting to try, like one of the Minotaur Retro K rations. I ordered one of those. I ordered a couple more Arctic Field rations. And a couple of components, just single items, so I'm hoping that the UPS people didn't decide to just have a meal on me, so to speak. But I will find out tomorrow what's up. But until then, I do want to thank you all for watching. So next week will be a chili. It's a different chili than the ones that Minotaur has that have had before. So they had a few different chili variants. So I will have another one of those. And there's Skyflakes crackers in that one, so I'm looking forward to tasting that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and catch y'all on the flip side.